Congressman Eric Swalwell is a Democrat from California who sits on two of those key committees, House Intelligence and House Judiciary. Good to have you, Congressman. I want to play you something
Thank you, Chris.
New chair of the Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, had to say about releasing transcripts. Take a listen.
We hope as one of our first acts to make the transcripts of our witnesses fully available to special counsel for any purpose, including the bringing of perjury charges if necessary against any of the witnesses, but also to see the evidence that they contain and help flesh out the picture for the special counsel.
What do you think about releasing them to the public as well?
I want that to happen as soon as possible, Chris. So our priorities: protect Mueller, send evidence to Mueller, and we've got a lot of evidence that the Republicans would not send over to Mueller, and then make sure the public understands what Mueller did as soon as Mueller is done. That's my priority.
So I want to play you something else that someone on my show, Michael Waldman, who worked on for Bill Clinton, as speechwriters at the Brennan Center, said that really clicked something into place for me about how I understand the moment we're in and the need for publicness, for public hearings, public investigation. Take a listen.
There has to be a case made to the public in a real, tangible, visible, dramatic way about what has gone wrong. I do worry about the idea that this silent G-man is going to deliver the facts. All the scandals that have made the history in the country, there's been a real congressional investigation. They have power and they need to use it.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, and we saw that with Watergate, the powerful testimony from John Dean that opened the investigation wide open as far as the public's concerned. And right now, you know who is benefiting from the darkness, especially on the House investigation, are the witnesses, because they're all working together, and we saw that in our investigation. Some of them are represented. You've got 3 or 4 people represented by the same lawyer, so they're sharing stories, they're getting their accounts straight, and the only people in the dark are the American people. And I think it would really help us if we're going to protect the ballot box going forward, if the American people understand what Russia did, who they worked with, and what we can do to make sure it never happens again. Yeah,
so I guess the question is, you know, I talked to the Congressman Chair Schiff about this a few days ago, about what the plan is for how much and how in depth a kind of set of public hearings on just these matters that you've already sort of investigated a bit. What's the plan for that?
So there will be public hearings, and I know Chairman Schiff has talked about that, and I will defer to him on, you know, who they are with and when they happen. But we wanted in the past to balance, you know, the interest of making sure witnesses weren't sharing accounts with each other and they weren't able to kind of get their story straight. And that's why there was a need to do it underground. But this has been going on for a couple of years now. And I don't think you're really protecting against that much, knowing that Mueller probably has interviewed the bulk of the witnesses. So now it's time for the public to understand why this matters and what's at stake.
You're also on House Judiciary Committee. I've talked to the chair there, too, Jerry Nadler, about the Attorney General of the United States, Mr. Whitaker, who it's unclear whether he's willing to come for your committee. But every day goes by, and this individual who is being sued in 3 or 4 different lawsuits, who has been ruled not an actually principal, necessitating Senate confirmation, is the chief law enforcement officer of the U.S. Will he come before your committee?
Yes, he cannot hide from our committee, as he would have been able to if Democrats had not won the Congress. Presidential immunity is over, Chris. We will subpoena him. That subpoena will be upheld in the courts, and he's going to have to defend his investigation and whether or not he's made any promises to President Trump. We would rather see that done voluntarily. This is the United States. This shouldn't be adversarial for the people's attorney general to come to Congress and tell the American people what his priorities are and whether he can uphold a lawful investigation.
Do you anticipate that he will try to run out the clock? Because obviously there's going to be confirmation hearings for William Barr, who's been nominated to succeed him. But it seems to me important to get him there whether he's the acting attorney general or not. Do you agree?
We're not going to let that happen. I know Chairman Nadler is determined to get him before us. Now, he may try, but again, we have subpoena power, and we are carrying ourselves with the confidence that this is what the American people wanted us to do, was to put a balance of power on these abuses of power.
All right, Congressman Eric Swalwell, was that your extremely cute baby in the House the other day that I saw?
Yeah, all credit goes to my wife, Chris. I held her for 3 hours, and I was called a hero. She does all the work, including right now, and gets none of the credit.
How old is your little one?
She's 10 weeks.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations.
That's
It was really adorable.
Thank you. And I know you're a dad of young kids, too.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.